Welcome back to the Homeschool with Moxie podcast, where our goal is to inspire and encourage you with actionable strategies that take you from overwhelmed to confident in your homeschool adventure. I'm your host, Abby Banks, and this is episode 304. If you're a homeschooling parent looking for a unique way to build leadership, confidence, and real-world skills in your child, then this episode is for you. Imagine a program where young people can develop teamwork and discipline and even maritime skills, all while embracing adventure and community. This is exactly what the Sea Cadet Corps offers. The U.S. Naval Sea Cadets is a youth development organization of the U.S. Navy. And today our special guest is Admiral Andy Lennon, who is the Executive Director of Sea Cadets. And fun fact, he's a former homeschool dad as well. He's going to chat with us about homeschooling families can benefit from getting their students involved in the Sea Cadet Corps. So I want you to listen in, check out the show notes at 41more.com/304, where we will have more information and links to everything so that if you want to get involved, it's really easy to do. I know you're going to love this conversation with Admiral Andy Lennon of the Sea Cadets. Admiral Lennon, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited to share about the U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps with homeschool families. I think it's excellent.
Thanks so much for having me, Abby. This is really an honor.
Well, let's start with just an overview of what the Sea Cadets are. Like, in a nutshell, what is it and what's your mission?
Sea Cadets gives young men and women skills, knowledge, and confidence so they can become productive American citizens. The Sea Cadets is the Navy's youth program for children between the ages of 10 and the end of high school. And we've got about 6,000 cadets spread throughout the nation.
Awesome. Now, so I know you said you've seen homeschoolers come through this program. Like, why would you say it's a great fit for homeschooled students to consider?
We actually have a lot of homeschool families in Sea Cadets. I had homeschooled my children, and my chief of staff has homeschooled her children and had them in Sea Cadets. So I think Sea Cadets is a really great opportunity for children to learn those skills that you don't learn from a book, that you don't learn in a classroom. The Sea Cadet experience is really hands-on, team building, cadets working with other cadets, and just trying new and hard things and sort of going on adventures together.
So tell us a little more about how the program does help students develop those leadership, the discipline, the teamwork. Do you have any stories you can tell us of some kids that stick out in your mind?
Absolutely. So the model is that children would be in a Sea Cadet unit, probably somewhere near their house, and during the academic year, they would meet usually one weekend per month with a group of maybe 20 to 40 other Sea Cadets. Then in the summer, we have these week-long training periods where you can consider them like encampments, like summer camp, where the Sea Cadets go away to some base or National Guard station and try exciting adventures. So we do all kinds of really fun things. One great example is our coolest training is at Signal Mountain, Tennessee, where we do this mountain ropes rescue training, and the cadets go rappelling. So as part of the adventure, they hike out to this cliff and scale them, go rappelling down a mountain. And I remember this one young lady who was a little tentative. She put on her harness and she was clipped in and kind of ready to go. And then she said, "No, I'm not quite ready." And she unclipped. And we were all kind of crestfallen, but our volunteers are just great. And they said, "Okay, just take it easy." A few other cadets went down the mountain and she thought she'd try again. So she clipped in, and I don't know if you've ever been rappelling, but you literally step outside your comfort zone. And here this young lady finally did it. And it was a very slow rappel, I can tell you. I saw the whole thing. And there's a part of this cliff where there's an overhang. So you're just floating free in space. And but she made it to the bottom, of course, and just huge cheers for her. here's a young lady who tried something she didn't think she could do. It was hard, it was uncomfortable, but it was a success. And so just a really great opportunity for her to build confidence in that pretty unique way.
I love what you said the other day when we chatted about this is a great space for kids to do hard things. I think you said fail in a safe environment where people are cheering you on and learn that you can succeed. Can you tell us about how this kind of this program is also awesome for kids who need just that little bit of structure in their lives?
Absolutely. So Sea Cadets are very disciplined. We wear Navy uniforms, and it's a complete uniform from the cover or hat all the way down to the boots. And we require sharp haircuts and a PT requirement. So there's a lot of discipline. We do march, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and a lot of respect for the flag and patriotism. So there's a lot of discipline and structure baked in. It is a paramilitary feeling as you participate in Sea Cadets. And some kids really thrive in that structure, or they need structure. There was one young man who grew up in inner city Philadelphia, a little bit of trouble in school. The assistant principal was talking to the mom and suggested, hey, why don't you put John in Sea Cadets? As it turns out, John got his life squared away. That structure was great for him. He thrived, became a successful Sea Cadet. I now know him as an adult. He came back to volunteer in our program, one of our greatest volunteers, and he's raising a family and has a fabulous job. So there's a kid who was sort of all over the place, but the structure really and discipline really helped him get on the right track.
So tell us about what kids who graduate from your program or go through it. Did they all go into the military? Kind of tell us what their next stage looks like.
So yes, Sea Cadets is the maritime youth program. So we support the Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine. So all of our trainings have that saltwater flavor to them. And we do training on things that the Navy needs: submarines, aviation, navigation, seamanship, sailing, robotics, cyber, even culinary, and what the Marine Corps needs. We do field operations and special forces training, and what the Coast Guard needs. And we expose people to the Merchant Marine as well. So there's that maritime flavor, and a lot of young men and women want to try out the military. I think I might want to be in the Navy. Let's see what it's like while I'm in high school. So Sea Cadets offers that opportunity. And indeed, about 55% of our Sea Cadets will join the armed forces. And some join the Army as well, which is great. Mm-hmm. So 45% go on to civilian jobs or civilian college, and that's great as well. The nation needs not only people to join our armed forces, but we need people in business who have that confidence as well. One area where the nation has a strong need is in shipbuilding and the trades. So to address that, we offer welding training and electronics training and other career opportunities, medical training as well.
So homeschool moms are going to want to know, what kind of time commitment is this going to be? So you talked about the summer. To explain, like, if someone joins, okay, they're thinking about it. The first step, is it the summer training? Is that their first step, first foot in the door, so to speak?
The best time to join would be in September at the beginning of the school year. We want you to learn how to be a Sea Cadet first before you go off to one of these trainings. So we have a recruit orientation program, and this depends if you're we have two programs. There's sort of a middle school program and a high school program. So I'll just explain the high school program. Join in September is ideal. January is also great. That gives you probably 3 months to learn how to be a Sea Cadet, learn how to wear a uniform, learn the culture, and get familiar with this teamwork environment before you go away from home for a week. So we do have a winter training session as well. So for those people who join in August, September, or October, you could be prepared to go to your first training, which we call recruit training. It's kind of like boot camp, so it's rigorous. You could do that over Christmas break. So you join a unit, get familiar with Sea Cadets. The first training you do is this sort of indoctrination, recruit training. orientation. And then for the summers, you could do 1 week or do 3 or 4 programs. If you wanted to do medical or the mountain ropes rescue, like I discussed, or STEM, robotics, go sailing. We have people go sailing in schooners off the coast of Maine, or welding training. Whatever you're interested in, we have such a huge variety of opportunities throughout the summer. And some families will send their child away for 1 week, and there are some who do 5 weeks of Sea Cadet training. So
Wow.
whatever interests you.
Yes. So the monthly commitment is usually, I think you said, like a weekend, right?
Most units, most local units will drill
Mhm.
1 weekend per month. So they'll meet Saturday and Sunday. There are some that do like every Saturday morning, and some that'll do weeknights depending on the school situation or the community. This is an extracurricular activity, so it's not affiliated with a specific school necessarily. And so the commitment for the kids is typically 1 weekend a month, and then plan on at least 1 week during the summer. Certainly some work may be done. There's some academic work and some training and some online things you can do during the month between drills. And there are always pop-up opportunities to present a color guard. We did a color guard at Capital One Arena for the NCAA tournament. We have color guards at professional baseball games and hockey matches. So there's all kinds of other interesting opportunities throughout the month that Sea Cadets can participate in.
So it sounds like it's flexible enough that a homeschool family, or I think you mentioned a homeschool group, could even start their own unit. Talk to us about locations. Do I have to be near something? What if I'm in a rural area? How does that work?
Absolutely. It's a great fit for homeschooling. I know, as a former homeschool parent. Most units drill 1 weekend per month because the children in the unit go to school Monday to Friday. But if you're in homeschool and you had a complete unit of homeschool children, you could do Mondays and Tuesdays, or you could do every day of the week for an hour over the course of the month. The goal is to have about 16 hours of training during the month. So however you wanted to do that, I know homeschooling offers great flexibility. My family really enjoyed that. So if you wanted to start a unit, let me know. We can help you do that. And we do that frequently anywhere in the country. We are the Navy's youth program, so it's helpful to have people in the unit with some military experience, but absolutely not required. We help you out with that. Your experience as a mom or a dad, getting teenagers and young children corralled and headed in the right direction, instilling discipline, that's incredibly valuable as well. So anybody can do it, and anywhere in America, really.
So what's the minimum number that you'd want in your unit?
A really great unit minimum would be 20 cadets.
Okay.
Our large, if you're more than 50 cadets, that's getting a little too big to manage. We do have some units with very small numbers of cadets. That doesn't work too well. We're trying to build those units back up because you need a certain critical mass of people if you're going to have leadership roles within the unit. And I'm a senior cadet. I need other cadets to lead and to teach and to mentor. And it's more fun when you have a group. And if you're going to march as a team, then if you only have 3 or 4 kids, that doesn't really work too well. So I would say 20 is a great number to start.
Okay. So talk about those leadership roles and the different ranks you use in Sea Cadets.
Sea Cadets progress through ranks like many other youth programs. The ranks we use are the Navy enlisted ranks. So seaman recruit, seaman apprentice, seaman petty officer, up to the rank of cadet chief petty officer. So there are 7 ranks for that high school program. And at each rank, we have some leadership training. And really, what's really great about Sea Cadets is not only the opportunity to learn about leadership from a book or from somebody like me lecturing you about it, you get to try it. So a great example would be, we had one young cadet I spoke to. He attends a very fancy, excellent prep school in the Boston area, and he's on the lacrosse team, and he taught himself to speak German. So this is 98th percentile student who's going places regardless. So I asked him what he got out of his Sea Cadet experience. And he said it was the leadership opportunity. And he told me that one day he was in charge of the marching. So he had a platoon of 30 Sea Cadets in front of him, and he was the one giving the commands. So when he says left face, 30 people turn left. And when he says forward march, 30 people move. So in that moment, he is unambiguously in charge. All eyes on him to give commands. And he said he was concerned he might march his platoon into a tree, but so what? Okay, we'll try again. So that opportunity to really be a leader is important for young people. And let me give you one more example. When the cadets go away for trainings, which are those encampments for a week, we have staff cadets, which you can think of as camp counselors. So if I have a 17 or 16-year-old staff cadet who may be in charge of 10 or 12 other cadets, that group may need to get up at 0600 for PT, and then back and showered for 0700 chow, and they may march to chow or breakfast. So that staff cadet has got to corral these 10 or 12 teenagers, and that's a leadership challenge. And what a great opportunity to learn that while you're in high school.
That's amazing. So if kids want to join, this is, I believe, ages 10 all the way up through high school, I think you said, right? What are the eligibility requirements? So people are going to want to know what's expected here of me. What are those?
So you have to be 10 years old and in 5th grade, and we'll let you stay through graduation from high school. You must be an American citizen. You have to have good grades. Academics are important. We don't want anybody to be failing out of school because they're doing Sea Cadets. So you have to have good grades and good moral behavior as well. So if you have a criminal record, we don't really need you in Sea Cadets. So, but we take all kinds, and I would really suggest inquiring. And if you have the ability to visit a Sea Cadet unit and see what it's like, that's the best thing. Take a moment, take some time to get to know us. See if that feels right for your child. I have 3 children of my own. They're very different. And Sea Cadets is very rigorous. It's hard to be a Sea Cadet. It's not for everyone. For those who enjoy our program, they are immensely successful. We have admirals and generals and an astronaut who have been Sea Cadets. We have leaders in industry. I have an opera singer. And just good citizens who are out there doing good work.
So as we wrap up here, what's your final bit of advice to homeschool parents who are really interested considering enrolling their child in Sea Cadets?
I would say go to seacadets.org. You can click on join, and that'll open up a map. It'll show you where our Sea Cadet units are. You can email us at info@seacadets.org. There's contact information on our website. You can follow us on social media. If you go to seacadets.org, it'll show you our Facebook page and YouTube channels, and you can see some videos of what our cadets do. And does that look interesting to my child? Those are some cool adventures. This looks great. Get to know us. Let us get to know you, and let's have a conversation.
This has been amazing. I know many families are going to be excited to learn about this. Thank you so much, Admiral. Appreciate your time.
Abby, this is really a pleasure for me. Thank you for the opportunity.